It was good enough for all to get you two. Should have got one.
Welcome.
True.
Once again, we're back. That's the wrong intro. So, you guys have everything set and are basically getting yourselves ready to go. And there's no sign of Antaeus. And Antaeus is the person who presently is holding on to the most important part of this equation.
Where's that damn fool? And have you seen him?
No.
Not a word.
Hmm.
You don't think he'd skip town with it, do you?
I wouldn't put it past him, but
Where would he go and how would he get there?
Maybe
Yeah, I
we
didn't-
should ask his goblin friends, see if he's all right.
You guys can take care of that, right?
I think they'll be more chatty
you-
with you around, Elizabeth.
let's pause that for a moment. Does anyone know where he lives?
Nope.
No.
The ministry must know where we all reside. Let's check in with them.
Okay.
All right.
You can head over to the ministry. Yep, what's up?
Is there a human resources department?
There is indeed. So you check in with them and notify them that Antaeus is missing. And their first question to you is, when were you supposed to leave on your mission?
Now.
Well-
Was this a set time?
Well, not so much, but we agreed we would leave very shortly, and
Well, I'll need you to fill out one of these forms then. This is a complaint form.
No. He's not like officially missing. I just need to know where he lives to check.
No,
on him. Maybe he's.
I'm sorry, we don't give out the addresses of employees to people just because they feel like somebody's running a few minutes behind.
We're not
Or
just
something
people,
that they
we're-
didn't even set a time for.
We're co-workers. This is urgent ministry business. We need to
And
leave.
how do we know you're not stalking him?
Because I'm a cleric of Shashat.
I'm going to have to put
and-
in an inquiry with Antaeus to make sure that he's aware that you are inquiring about his address very forcefully, I might
What's
add.
your name, actually? And where's
Oh,
your manager?
I see what's going on here. You want to get my info now, too.
No, I'd look to Brianna. Maybe you can speak better than I in this
I
situation.
love when
I seem
Coulson
to be-
starts the conversation.
I must be not coming. Was I speaking Dwarven? I don't know. You try.
you don't understand. There's 3 of us, so we're not stalking him or anything. He's actually our party member.
So we had an instance where 5 people were all looking for someone, and then a couple of days later, that person was beaten and bruised, and needless to say, we had to put 5 people in jail.
Oh, well, that sounds terrible. I just, we want to make sure that he's okay because, we didn't have a set time to show up, but he did know that we needed to leave within 2 days to get to where we were going.
Well, I mean, you're not really at the end of 2 days, right? If you're just coming in here and you had a reasonable aspect of time where you were maybe kind of going to possibly go out.
Yeah, but I understand you have a job to do. You can't just give out addresses. It just would be really helpful.
Exactly, and I'm not going to give that information over without at least a really high diplomacy check.
Oh, well, in that case.
That's not it. Your diplomacy rolls lately have been just not great.
I know. I don't understand.
Don't ask me to try.
I'm sorry, but there's nothing really I can do for you here.
Actually, I think I know why. Let's see. Yeah, it's because one of my performances will eventually count as diplomacy, so I've not been putting points into it. So, but I don't have that ability right this
Gotcha.
right now. So, anyway,
Not
alright.
right here or right now.
So Brianna's probably just going to try then and smooth things over. She doesn't want Goron to get arrested again.
There's no worry of anyone being arrested in this particular case. This is basically just she's going to let Antaeus know that 3 random people have been snooping around asking for his address.
You know, that actually brings up a good point. Are there any forms that we can fill out so that if this were to happen, say if I were to disappear sometime in the future, that you could give my information to my party members here?
Oh, sure. Here's a release form.
Oh, cool. Thank you. And can I get one extra so that whenever we do run into Antaeus, then we can ask him to fill one out as well?
He'll have to come in and request it himself.
Okay.
And you'll need this filled out in front of me right now.
Oh, okay. So Brianna will fill it out, and
Okay.
Yeah.
We always make sure people fill this out in front of us.
Oh, so you know that they're not being coerced.
Correct.
I got
I'll
you.
fill one out too. Not that it super matters, because everyone knows where I live. I made it very apparent I wanted out of mommy and daddy's house, but fill it out too, just for the hell of it.
Baby's gonna crawl into the screen and become part of the game. All right. So you can fill out the forms, but this will still not get you to Antaeus.
Yeah.
Let's go speak to our boss. Maybe he can get us through some of these flags in our way.
I'm sure he's dying to do you a favor, Goron.
Of course, he's supposed to be leading the operation on this experimental thing, and he's nowhere to be found. This is worrying. He should know. Let's go.
All right. Three of you head over to find your boss, and you can eventually make your way to him. I thought you all were leaving. Wait, where's Antaeus?
Exactly our question.
That's what we want to know. We haven't seen him, and for obvious reasons, HR won't give us his address. We don't really even know where he lives.
This
Did he say anything to you about being late or anything?
If he's maybe trying to make contact with one of his contacts to move the stuff too early, but I wouldn't think he would be doing that. We were very clear about how we wanted to make sure of what this was first.
Yes, and I was supposed to be helping him, and he hasn't talked to me about anything yet either. Well, what should we do? Should we...
Well, I do have his details. Let's take a look into things, shall we? Follow me.
Mm-hmm.
And he will take you to a location quite some ways into town. But when he gets there, there is nothing actually at the address he has. But what is...
Well, that's not sketchy at all.
Is this the wrong address? So where are we supposed to be?
This should be it. It should be right here.
Have you never done this before?
No, I certainly have done this before. I check.
Oh.
We do thorough checks into this. If an address is not correct, we would have known. Where? And he looks around again. Where?
So wait, what is in front of us? Is there any buildings, or is it
Yeah, there's buildings. This address number just does not exist.
Oh.
It's like buildings are too large, so they take up more than one lot. So this number can't actually exist.
Perhaps he has some kind of address at a postal center that... Is there anything like that nearby? Maybe they give out alternate addresses.
Well, let's do this. You ask around at the shop over here. I'm going to head into the shop next door, and perhaps we can find some details about this.
Okay.
All right, so he heads into one place. The three of you can head into the other. Inside this place, it is a rather pungent establishment. There is a lot of different chemicals and liquids and other things that are kind of boiling up and filling the air with a large number of various aromas. The place doesn't have a name on the outside of it, but it also isn't trying to hide what it sells. Is there's these various vials and various things showcasing the liquids and other alchemist tools that exist within this building.
I nudge Brianna forward.
Is there any kind of like shopkeep or anything?
Oh yeah, there's a wide variety of different people roaming about the place, working with a number of different concoctions.
Okay, so I guess I'll go up to the first one that I see and just say, "Hi there. I have some questions."
Oh, hi. Hello. You're a short one.
Yeah, it's been that way all my life.
Huh? It's a good perspective.
Actually, I'm looking for someone who is an alchemist, and I was wondering if you've seen him.
He looks around the entire establishment at literally every person in here. Hey, anybody here seen an alchemist? And everybody just laughs a bit.
Oh,
I'm
you're
looking
funny.
for a specific one. And Tejas is his name. You heard of him?
We don't know people by names.
So I will describe Antaeus.
Oh, that guy. He always thinks he's got something better going on.
True.
Dick.
I like this guy.
Have you seen him recently?
I think so, but I believe. Hey, Lenny, you seen Antaeus? You know, the tall guy. Antaeus was, maybe somebody else knows my name. The tall guy with the ears. You haven't been in here in a while. Maybe yesterday, but not today. I don't think today.
What was he buying yesterday? Anything specific? Do you remember?
Buying? No. He's here in the lab, usually talking about what better things he's doing than what we're doing.
Remember what he was talking about when he was here?
He said he had some kind of big new thing.
Mm-hmm. He didn't make it sound like he was leaving town or anything, right?
He doesn't really talk about where he's going, just what he's doing. And usually he has like a bunch of random and blank statements that go along with it. It's very confusing. It's almost like he's trying to get information from us, but not to get information from us. Like he already knows the answer, but is just curious if his answer is as right as he thinks it is. You know how, like, when somebody has the perfect potion already and they're just looking to make sure it is as perfect as they think it is?
Kind of like when somebody has a new song that they've written and they're just wanting to make sure that you think it's good too.
Yeah, I guess. I'm not a music person.
Oh, it's too bad. Okay, well, it's funny. We thought that he lived around here.
Well, people do live around here. So
Where's the secret entrance?
If there's no secret entrance. So there was a building that used to be next door, and recently we bought this space, and there's technically an upstairs area where people are allowed to like sleep and still do their business from time to time. So it counts as a residence, but also some people fight it. We're in a really gray area here, and we'd appreciate you not asking too many more questions about it, because right now it's still pending.
Oh well, we're not here to really enforce anything. We're just trying to find Antaeus, and since this is where we thought he lived, that's why we came in here asking.
Well, he was in here yesterday talking about something or another, but I assume he probably went up to sleep or whatever he does. Those ones don't normal sleep, you know? They like sit themselves in a place and just think for a few hours, and then they just fucking babble on about nonsense.
Watch your language. You're in presence of a cleric. Are we able to go up there and check on him, or do you have to go up there and get him for us? Or
He's not up there at this time.
How do you know?
Because we would have seen him. One of us would have seen him come in.
So how long has he been missing for?
We haven't seen him since yesterday.
All All right. Well, thank you for your time.
Hold on,
Um,
Brianna. We're not done with this fellow.
Okay.
Can I make an untrained knowledge law to know the legality of what he's describing?
Yes.
I'll just roll this. I don't have a knowledge law. I'll add that, actually.
No idea.
Okay, I'm going to try and bluff.
I have a 1 in knowledge. Oh, I even know less. Wow. And I even have a rank in it. That's sad.
So, you say this establishment of yours is, if you want to avoid, we work with the ministry, and I'll kind of like flaunt my badge. If you want less questions here, you're going to spill the beans about maybe where you know where he might be. And I'll kind of like, I guess my low charisma comes off here, but I kind of like try to do like a wink, but I'm like not really doing it. Like,
Are you going for an intimidate or a bluff?
I guess a bluff. If you know what I mean, if you don't want any trouble.
So you're trying to lie your way through things, and he's like, I don't even get where you're going with this. We're not. Look, the most compromising thing we have is that the places to sleep upstairs aren't certified under the Housing Act. But
you admit to the crime.
There's no crime here. There's no rule that says you can't sleep in a place. You just can't call it a house.
Not yet. I'm in the ministry. You know what the pull I have?
The ministry doesn't deal with these issues. You're like so far off base.
This is above your pay grade, sir. Just can you tell me where you think he might be, and we'll get out of your hair.
I have no idea. That fucking arrogant piece of shit is constantly asking questions and doing things.
Again, your
and
language,
goes wherever
sir.
he wants. What lady? This one's got a half a rack showing out.
What? I look over at Brianna. She actually have half her rack.
It doesn't matter because they're gonna count it that way anyway. They're literally like the only thing distracting them from any of their work is the fact that she's in here at this point.
So Brianna will be like, it would be really helpful if you could just tell me anything else you know.
Give me diplomacy.
All right.
Elizabeth standing over there like, what am I, non-existent? Wow.
So, you come over and you give him a little bit of the flirty attention that he's been wanting his whole life. And he's like, well, all right, Antaeus has a lot of these people that'll drop by every once in a while looking for something, and sometimes they'll ask him to make a home visit. I'm sure he's out at one of those people. He talks about it being in that, like, great, not great part of town, right near the edge of the bridge.
Are these people happen to be goblins?
No, they're wide variety people. We see your occasional, like, orcs, some goblins, some halfies, all kinds of stuff.
I see. Well, thank you. You've been so helpful.
Oh, it's no problem at all.
Thank you, sir. Mind your language next time in front of the ladies.
Oh, certainly. Certainly.
I'll say a prayer to Shashat for you.
Thank you.
All right, let's go get... I forgot his name.
Antaeus.
Ninoslav. Let's go get him and let him know we know where Antaeus is somewhere.
Okay. So, let's jump over to Antaeus. Mr. Late for Dinner.
Oh, yeah, I mean...
So,
why would I go to dinner if I had such a big lunch?
Antaeus. So first of all, what were you picking up over the last couple of days?
I guess whatever I really needed to finish the job that I was doing, to make some money. But
well, you have the 5,000 GP writ. So is there anything specific right now that you want to buy with it?
No, not at the moment. Because it has the same rules as the other ones, right? Where it has to be spent all at once.
Correct.
And on one item.
It doesn't necessarily have to be one item, but they all have to be bought at the same time.
Okay.
And they all
And,
become ministry property when you purchase them.
And it can't be consumable items and so on and
Correct.
so forth. So no, I actually don't have that. What I would like to spend it on at the moment.
Okay.
But yeah.
So presumably then you've probably been spending the last couple of days feeling out leads for the new potion you're gonna be mixing up.
Yes.
All right. So what is your plan for
Actually reminds me.
how you plan to disseminate that? Once you get the approval to do so, that is.
Because we're talking about the contact from Zugzug, right? Zigmar, right?
Zigmars, yes.
Okay. I guess I would just try to. I'm assuming that the ingredients are easy enough to come by, right?
Yeah, you can get the stuff that you need for it. The additional additives that will kind of take what's in here already and enhance or modify it to give it exactly the texture and the texture, appearance, and like interaction that you're looking for. Because no specific thing is the drug itself. It's also the things that you add to it to make sure it hits and lasts in the way that you want it to.
Yeah. You got to make it blue so that you know that it comes from. Oh, never mind. That's a different show. Which actually reminds me, there was something I wanted to discuss with you that I'll discuss later on.
Okay.
About speaking of drugs. That sounds really shady.
You got my ex, then I see. Also, not going to do this right after saying something about drugs. So.
Yeah, no, that's not. I don't snort things. That's gross. I forgot.
Right out of the gate, I'm hitting you with those hard-hitting questions. So, what is your plan for kind of how you're going to disseminate this once you're allowed to?
That's a good question.
It's okay if you don't have a plan. I'm just curious if you've come up with one. It's only been a couple of days, and a lot of your stuff is probably devoted to like putting the concoction together and researching like what materials you might need.
I guess that ultimately depends on whether or not it's. I guess it's 50 gold, so I guess it's probably like a larger quantity than I would normally be making.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so it's like not like it's like I'm making stuff for one person.
Right.
It's probably okay. Then I guess I would experiment a little bit with some different effects of it, like so.
Oh, don't cut out. Hold on, you're cutting out.
Like making the best stuff.
Okay.
So I would want to make sure that so that it would give them a reason to come back as opposed to going to one of my competitors.
Okay. So you're looking at ways to dilute it the right amount, not make it so weak it's ineffective, but not make it so that you're just going to straight up lose money on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Still a business, of course.
Okay. So it's presumed then for the last day. So I've kind of thought about where it is that Antaeus lives. And I feel there is an establishment that is basically like a free-to-use alchemist lab, but you can crash there periodically because they have like room space above it. And so I feel like even if he may not necessarily live there, this is the place that Antaeus would put down as his address. And probably where he comes in from time to time to utilize some of the lab's facilities, and probably talk down some of the other people that use the lab themselves.
That sounds about right.
I
need as much lab time as I can get.
Yeah, and here is the best place that you can get it. You can't always get the best materials here, because it's a shared lab, so people aren't exactly like letting everybody use, good resources. But you can find some of these things you need in a pinch that are like readily available, but might cost you just enough of the extra coin that you wouldn't want to waste on testing things. So you probably spend the.
I wouldn't be
Go ahead.
I wouldn't be above spending a little bit more to increase the quality as long as there's still a profit being made.
Mm-hmm. But I think one of the biggest problems you're going to run into is one of the resources that you'll find that you need happens to be on the questionable acquisition side. See, if you want to buy little bits of this, it's not a big deal. But when you want to buy large doses of this chemical, it gets a lot more difficult. You have to fill out a bunch of forms and prove the purpose for which you're buying it. And you're not planning to disseminate it as like a very high dose thing. You're going to keep it within the legal requirements. But they ask all these questions and they require all these like special permits and things that just really raise the cost overall. And you're a value driven person. You want to make sure that people are getting the most value for their dollar. And sometimes
Exactly.
the law is good in that it keeps people safe from that. And you're not looking to break the law per se. You're just willing to make sure the law is working in the way that really it probably should. And you know that if you can mix it, if you can get it the right way, then you can make it happen. And there's always the right way to do something if you need to do it that way.
Yeah, just because I want to buy 50 bottles of NyQuil does not mean I should get carded for this.
Yeah. But you're gonna keep it within the law. You're not necessarily gonna go above the law.
No,
but maybe
that's not my place.
maybe you need a few more people to go out there and pick up the supplies that you need. And you happen to know
there are
somebody
people that...
who has a lot of people that could just head out and buy those supplies for you.
That's a good thing because, like, you know, everybody has their purpose. Like, some people are better at getting supplies than other people, and it's like business. You got to keep
Totally
things
not sketchy
moving.
having like just a spam of like 5 different goblins walking in, all buying the same amount of supplies. Not sketchy or weird at all.
They have allergies, okay?
That is how you do it if you need to buy a lot of Sudafed.
Oh, this kid just came in and wanted to buy Grand Theft Auto and suddenly came in with an adult now? Oh, nothing weird about that.
This adult that happens to be an entirely different ethnicity than him and doesn't look anything like him or any of his family and doesn't even know how to pronounce Grand Theft Auto.
This elderly Caucasian male that doesn't know how to pronounce Grand Theft Auto is buying this game for these African American children. Interesting. I'm sure that's their dad.
Their first generation Polish father is going to take care of this for them. You see that everywhere. Like, I've seen that in liquor stores. I've seen the old Polish dude coming in and buying alcohol for the very clearly much more white children that just want him to buy it for them. And he's like, I'm their kids. They're not getting any of this. And it's like, you're going to walk out the door and hand it to them. Who are you kidding?
People.
But children should just be allowed to drink anyway, so.
Right. So,
Kappa.
we gonna go find Donateus?
So, you can head over to Zigmar's to work out how to get your supplies together. Zigmar's will tell you he's got a good plan for how to do this. He wants a cut afterwards once you get things going. But he's not asking for a lot. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say I'll give him the rough estimate of how much the materials should cost and how much of a profit I'm trying to make off of it, and then see if we can find out if his expenses fall somewhere in the margin of the difference.
Yeah, he's looking for 10% on top of whatever profit, 10% of whatever profit you make. He's not asking for a lot, and at least one taste of what you come up with.
Exactly. You got to make sure that it's good. Got to make sure that it does what it's supposed to do.
Right, and I'm a premium candidate for testing this kind of thing. You know, you could just have any old person do it, but
exactly, I can't do it I can't do it myself because then I would be experiencing it and trying to rationalize all of that while under the influence of it. You need an objective point of view.
Precisely, and I'm objective and smart enough to give you the results you're looking for.
Exactly.
Perfect.
Almost
Then I think
that
we're
answer
I think
there,
we're in a
didn't
good I think we're in good shape then. I think everything is the way we want it to be.
Fantastic. I don't remember if I made the roll last time or not for my alchemy.
No, we'll work on the alchemy roll once you get it all together. For the most part, you've been taking a lot of time doing very careful research on this, so it's going to be what it turns out to be once you get to make the final product.
Gotcha.
So yeah, you the next day you're kind of waiting around for the people to deliver what you're looking for. And they are taking way longer than expected. You had like a meeting point, a time, you set up literally everything. And it's like, okay, if I get it right here, I'll be back to the group by this time. And you are at this point like hours late to meet back up with the group.
Interesting.
And you know,
How long ago
Zigmar's
they-
thus far has not been this far behind on anything he's been doing.
How long ago were they supposed to? Because I don't think that I would wait. Like, I would probably wait maybe an hour, but I don't think that I would wait like several hours to.
I was
for them
thinking
to
like
show that,
you're approaching like the hour and a half to 2 hour mark. Because you keep
Yeah, I think
seeing
that
like
I-
maybe a goblin or an orc or something like come by, and you keep thinking like, you know, you do that thing like, is this the contact? Like,
Mm-hmm.
and so there's been
Like when
so
you're
many
waiting for
nears. Yeah, there's been so many nears that you're like, well, one of these guys could be doing that thing where they're checking to make sure you're here before they send the real contact through.
Mm-hmm. So that they're not getting followed or anything of that
Right.
nature.
But as you're waiting there, you'll see the group along with Ninoslav making their way up to you.
Oh, perfect. Ninoslav.
Oh, Antaeus, you're alive.
Was there any doubt that I wasn't?
Better late than never, I guess.
I'm gonna check the date and the time. Like, I didn't miss the.
You're like an
meeting
hour and a
for-
half past when they wanted you to be there, but based on where the suns are at.
Oh, my apologies. Is that a hard time that we had set, or?
No,
You
but
kind of
rough
have some
estimate.
time constraints here. Stuff will decay.
Hmm.
you need to fill some forms out when we get back, allowing us to look into your place. And you may have like some inquiries saying people are trying to stalk you. Ignore those.
Gulran, you notice
Um,
a goblin heading in this direction.
Oh Lord, do I recognize this goblin?
You do not recognize this goblin per se.
Let's hurry up. There's some unsavory people starting to look at us. We got time constraints. Let's go. people.
Ninoslav,
Come on.
what? Ninoslav says, what? What are you talking about? Some unsavory folks? And he like
You
looks
know,
around.
just in the shady part of
Goron's
town.
racist against goblins.
No, I am not.
At
We have a place
this
to
like
be.
point of pointing things out, you'll notice this goblin moving towards you, and he's carrying like a small bag over his shoulder.
Can we get going now? We have Antaeus? Let's go.
I mean, then you don't need me for anything, right? You'll get on your way.
I don't think so. Everyone.
Yes,
Good.
thank you for your help, sir.
Very well then. And he'll turn and he'll head off. As he's heading off, Antaeus, Elizabeth, and Gulran, you will notice that the goblin has kind of stopped. Ooh, thank you. The goblin has kind of stopped and is like staring directly at Elizabeth, and is like looking around and taking a couple of like steps backwards. And he like looks over at Antaeus for a second, but then like looks around again.
I'll start like pulling people to leave the direction to the wherever the cart is supposed to be, where we're supposed to meet up to leave.
Yes, I'll be there in just a moment. I
No,
have to grab
now
a
we
few
waited
things
enough.
from
What do you need to grab, Antaeus?
my belongings. I don't carry everything on me. They're inside the building.
Oh, brother.
Let's just give him a few minutes. Go
Just a
around,
couple
I'm
of
sure-
minutes.
I'm sure he'll
Make it
be
snappy.
along.
All right.
I will do my best.
So, Antaeus, you go over to make the exchange. How many people are just totally turning away from Antaeus and heading back to where the cart is?
Well, we're waiting for him now, I guess.
Okay. All right. So, Elizabeth,
What?
you will notice that...
Bartering.
Huh?
Bartering's not illegal, right?
Elizabeth, you'll notice that Antaeus goes over and makes some kind of exchange with this goblin. And then heads back over to... And then catches back up to the rest of you.
Okay. I don't really care what he's doing with his own shit.
Okay.
Also, I do grab whatever else I've left inside the building.
Yep.
I'll
Because I'm
just give
assuming
him
that,
that,
like-
that one look where you look at him and you're just like, whatever. Whoa, child,
He's
Jesus.
probably more freaked out about you being a Templar than.
I'm not a Templar.
A knight.
But
Well,
yeah,
I'm sorry, a knight.
I
All
figured that's why the goblin was looking at me. I
Mhm.
don't really give a fuck. Whatever.
You get everything in Teos? Are we allowed to leave, my lord, or what?
Have I been promoted? Is this?
I don't know. We seem to wait on you hand and
Is that
foot.
what these papers are?
While we're en
Is that what
route
these
to the
papers sign?
yes, while we're en route to the city, I want a full report on your progress on that item we're supposed to be working on together. But you haven't heard a word from you in these last few days.
Yes.
Excellent.
I will give him I'll give him whatever information I have come up with on that. Because I'm assuming that in the downtime and waiting for
Mhm.
people to get back to me with things, I would have been working with that.
Yep, you come up with a lot of stuff on that. You're making good progress. So the four of you get to the cart. Who is going to drive the cart?
Does this actually require a skill check?
Profession driver.
I don't believe so.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Driver.
Unless
Profession?
anyone,
It's a profession
It
skill
is a
check?
profession.
I mean, I do have a 4, apparently.
It is just
Oh.
like your base stat bonus.
unless anyone particularly wants to, Goran would take the reins if no one tries to do it.
Not
Yeah, I guess I have a +4 to profession checks as well. Why do I have? Oh, breath of experience, I think, or one of those things gives me a bonus to.
So three of you all go to take the reins of the cart. Yes.
Oh no,
Well,
I wouldn't volunteer at first.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, well, Goran's waiting a minute. If no one looks to be grabbing it, then he'll grab it. So if Elizabeth does it right away, then he'll
I
wait.
feel like this is another one of those the party leader would obviously be in control of the vehicle kind of thing. So I feel
Yeah,
like it does
I'll
make sense that
definitely
both
go for it.
Elizabeth and
Yeah.
Gulran go for it. So let me have a roll off to see who gets to it first.
you
So
want?
initiative or
No, this is profession driver. So both of you give me
Oh,
the profession check.
okay. Where's...
And whoever gets it higher
Lord.
knows better how to operate the vehicle.
Oh.
No. They'll steal them the wrong way that way.
What are you
Yeah.
talking about? I do just fine.
I hear you crying. Don't cry over it. It's okay. I'll let you drive on the way back if you're nice to me.
You're gonna get smacked over the head if you're not careful.
The four of you load up on the cart. Is there anything extra you guys want to grab on your way out? Rations have been provided within the cart already, so you don't need to pick up any extra of those.
Brianna is bringing some extra ammunition just so that if she runs out of what she normally carries, that she'll have some of that.
Okay.
She's basically carrying the things that she normally stores in her inn room, like her bedroll and all of that. She's putting those on the wagon
No.
to go with her. Oh, and snacks. It's not a road trip without snacks.
It's like it's not a party without snacks.
That's right.
Exactly.
So this is that is too far a drive. I have the map scale way wrong on this map. Should be a little bit less. I believe it's supposed to be at this scale.
Oh, and on the route, I would say, Antaeus, take this ring.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
kind of a
more right.
platinum ring. Wear it. It's for one of my spells. It will help
Yeah,
protect you.
You're married to Goron now.
No. I would never.
He went behind your back and he did the whole ceremony. He's a priest, you know, so he's ordained to do it.
Oh
And-
no.
And that form that you signed, well, that was.
I haven't signed anything yet. Let me be clear. I am not signing anything until I've read it over at least twice.
Antaeus, don't flatter yourself. If I were to take a bride, it would be someone much more dashing than you.
All right. So before the party heads out, let's go ahead and take a short little break and see what happens to the party on the road. See you in a bit?
Oh,